Let's talk about how hail forms. So hailstone are pieces of ice. Either the hailstone can be transparent or it is partially opaque. Hailstone can range in size from the small pea of that golf ball. So the size of the hailstone can vary depending on how long it is staying into the atmosphere during the storm. So hail forms in a cumulonimbus cloud, usually an intense thunderstorm. So a large frozen raindrop or just about any particles, even insect, that act as a embryo that grow by accretion. Accretion means the accumulation of supercooled liquid droplets. It takes about millions of cloud droplets to form a single raindrop, but it takes about 10 billions of cloud droplets to form a big size of hailstorm. For a hailstorm to grow to this big size, such as a golf ball size, it must remain into the cloud between 10 to 15 minutes or 5 to 10 minutes. So how this happens, a upsurging air current within the storm carry small ice particle high above the freezing level. The ice particle grows by colliding with supercooled liquid cloud droplet. A rotating updraft. That's updraft is the warmest time is a severe thunderstorm, and this violent rotating updraft in a severe thunderstorm, especially when we call the long-lived storm, and sometime we mention in meteorology that is supercell thunderstorm. Though these types of thunderstorm are capable of sweeping the growing ice particle laterally through the cloud. In fact, it appears that the best trajectory for hailstorm growth is one that is nearly horizontal through the storm. So as growing ice particles pass through regions of different liquid water content, a outside coating of ice form around them, and this outside coating cause them to grow larger and larger and larger by time. In a strong updraft during the supercell thunderstorm or other thunderstorm, the large hailstorm actually climb up or ascend very slowly, and it may appear something like it is floating into the air during the updraft. So this continue to grow rapidly by colliding with numerous numbers of supercooled liquid droplet, and then around the water droplet ice crystal, it actually accumulate. When wind aloft carry the large hailstorm away from the updraft, or when hailstorm reach appreciable size that air or the updraft cannot hold the weight of this ice crystal, then it becomes too heavy to be supported by the rising air, and then this hail fall as a hail. In the warmer air below the cloud, the hailstone began to melt. Small hail often completely melt before reaching the ground, so all the hail that form into the air or into the cloud, that actually does not come down to touch the ground because they melt down before they hit the ground, and some of them are too big that it cannot completely melt, and when it's come down all the way to the ground, that again another warm updraft actually lift the hail into the cloud or storm again. So when this repetition happens again and again and again, we get sometime a large size of the hailstorm. and when this hail is outside of the storm that updraft, then it fall down to the ground and we get different types of big hailstorms. So in the United States alone, hail damage amount to hundreds of millions of dollars annually. Sometimes it costs, so it's not good for the crop. Sometimes it damages entire crops. And hail is the biggest hail we found in the South Dakota, not in South Dakota, it's actually the Nebraska on June 22, 2003, that was 18.7 inches long. And so it can be destructive for our car, for our home, etc.